Hello, and welcome to the Gaia Daily for May 15th through 18th, 2019. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, today Mars moves into the sign of Cancer. Tomorrow, Venus moves into the sign of Taurus. So we're having a shift of energies here. With Mars moving into Cancer, it's bringing forward more of this energy of the North Node of the Moon, which is in Cancer. And with Mars moving into a water sign, that brings a lot more water energy, especially with this upcoming Scorpio full moon that happens on Saturday. So people are feeling really sensitive, and we're still having the karmic triggers go on. So it's kind of an interesting combination of, the stuff from the past coming up, but also just really emotionally triggered in a way of maybe feeling defensive, feeling vulnerable. We've got with Venus and Mercury in Taurus now, which is an earth sign, that brings more sensitivity and vulnerability as well. And these are our personal planets, are all now in feminine signs. So things are coming up to the surface, but we're still with all of this Capricorn energy, with Saturn coming so close to Pluto. We're still having the karmic purge. We're still letting go of the past. Saturn is still close to that south node. So we've got this past karmic bloom still coming, and yet we have a very oversensitive, vulnerable type feeling in the air. And so the combination is a little bit tricky, but these emotions are powerful emotions. Now think about it. When you feel intensely on any level, but let's just take a positive emotion, right? Like gratitude, of just like, wow, this person did something nice for me, and I just feel such thankfulness and gratitude, right? That power, that emotion, that it makes us feel alive. It reminds us that we're not robots. We're humans having this incredible and amazing experience in a body, consciousness, aware of itself in manifested form. Pretty cool and amazing. Not that fun while you're going through it, especially in these intense times. But still, this is what makes humans potent, powerful, watched by the rest of the universe and the omniverse, is our range of emotions. So we can actually use this emotional energy to gain clarity and find the strength to face these patterns that aren't serving us anymore, right? So these really deep rooted belief systems that are so deep in our subconscious. This is what's coming up right now, the Scorpio full moon coming. It's like stuff just so deep in our subconscious that if I asked you on the street if that's how you felt, like say, you don't feel like you deserve a better life. You asking and asking and asking for things to work out for you, but you don't think you deserve it. You'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But this is deep, deep subconscious stuff that's getting just getting wrenched around right now, so that we can sort through it and we can assess it and be like, wait a minute, that's not true, right? But literally, like, so many people want their lives to change, are just really unhappy with the way things are in their life, and this kind of energy going on right now, all of this water, all this emotion, it's just bringing a lot of deep feelings up of especially with Jupiter and Sagittarius, our one fire energy right now. That's about our quest and trying to get back on the quest, but Jupiter's been kind of banged around with all of these transits, these squares this year, and so it's just this feeling of defeat and a lot of emotions coming up around our life not being what we really want it to be. Now, we're also getting an opportunity, though, with this full moon, to dream a new dream, to let ourselves widen and imagine, and all this helpful energy towards moving into the future, right? But we've got to, with all this Taurus energy, because tomorrow Venus will join, on Thursday, Venus will join Mercury in Taurus, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus, so it's very powerful energy, and that's a cool thing in itself, because we've got Venus at home, Jupiter at home, we've got Saturn at home, and Neptune at home, so a lot of planets at home, and it's telling us something. right? It's telling us that it's time to come home. Come home to the earth, come home to who we really are, allow ourselves to land here, feel safe here, release the traumas of the past. And, but these things are just coming up to the surface. So there is, so when we have these intense emotions, though, like I said, it's a great opportunity to see what's revealed underneath that emotion. You know, like, where is that belief system? Because if your life, if you're feeling victimized by this world in your life, and we all have a lot to work against to try to be here and try to be who we really are and try to exist, you know, but if you want more or better things in your life and they're not there, then we have to look at the energy with this Taurus energy and all of this nurturing energy, Cancer, this issues around nurturing. We have to look at whether or not we think we deserve. Because whatever's happening in our life right now, just take this hypothesis. Like, what's happening in your life right now, like some struggle, some situation that might not feel like it's enough. You know, this is our Taurus energy. We want to have what we need to survive. We want to be comfortable. And why can't it just work out that way so we can actually live, right? But we actually allow ourselves only what we think we deserve, you know, and it doesn't mean that that's what we deserve. Okay, that's where we get into tricky stuff. That's where Capricorn energy gets kind of confusing in all of this, because it's like, oh yeah, this is happening to me because this is all I deserve. And it's like, no, but it might be happening to you because it's what you believe you deserve. You know, it's like, because the deserve thing has to kind of be thrown out the window. If we are source energy, it's not about deserving or not deserving, right? There's no issue there, because it's who we are. It's available inside all of us. Everything is, right? And so these deep feelings of inadequacy, of sensitivity, of vulnerability are just coming up all over the place, blooming, growing, right? Like in the northern hemisphere right now, how things are growing so fast with the warm weather coming. And so that's where we're at, but it can be really painful, because in order to expand, we've got to face where we've been contracted. And there's a lot of like, really people going through visceral experiences, and I've talked about this before at different times in our process, where you'll just have like all of a sudden just maybe a heavy emotion, maybe an intense feeling, a visceral feeling of like your body having some sort of anxiety, full blown cellular level experience of some trauma you experienced in a past life, and all of a sudden it's like happening to you. And you have no way to find, you know, so when you feel really intense and the situation doesn't lend to that level of intensity, then that means you're dealing with a past timeline that's bleeding in. And it's actually giving you an opportunity to feel and experience, but release those energies that have been carrying in your field. And what happens is that we have like an astral body, that's our emotional body, that we have a different one each lifetime. And so we kind of keep a memory. This is where we keep our soul memory. And so it's like with these lifetimes of these other bodies that are holding these memories and patterns that may have happened again and again and again. And that's what's going on, right? Like these patterns aren't like, oh, that happened to me once in a past life. What's coming up right now is a pattern you've had again and again and again. And you're done with it. Okay, just remind yourself there. It's coming up now because you're done with it. And that feeling is coming up, the shaking in your body, whatever's happening, because you're done with it and you're releasing it. And it's no longer true for you, so it's got to go, right? So we've got Mars here now in Cancer. And we also have some, with Mercury in Taurus, it's making a sextile to the North Node in Cancer. And then Neptune in Pisces is making a trine to the North Node. So these aspects are really dynamic and sweet and supportive around moving into the future energies, right? And again, we have this juxtaposition of the past and the future, but with Mercury just took that crazy retrograde, right? And now we're still kind of sorting through what that might mean. And it's coming up into this conjunction with the sun, which is kind of like, oh, okay, this is the conceptual shift that I've been working on for the last 3 months. That's literally what this next week is about for us, is recognizing, realizing these things, okay? And so, but Mercury is also making us sextile to the North Node, and the North Node is our future karma. How are we going to get to where we're trying to go? And in Cancer, we're talking about nurturing and allowing ourselves to be cared for, feeling like we deserve it, allowing ourselves to receive. And so Mercury is, but sextiles have this really cool energy of creative solutions. And so it's kind of like, hey, maybe we can figure this out, right? Like, it doesn't have to be, we don't have to stay in that prison. We can shift, we can change, we can, you know, allow ourselves to let go of those prison walls, even though it might not feel safe, or like we have to let ourselves get used to it. You know, there's a process involved, but hey, it's cool. We can make this happen. We can learn to receive, to come home to the earth, to connect again to our home, to our great mother, to the divine feminine, and feel safe and cared for. Okay. That's a big part of the conceptual reality shift that's trying to happen with this Mercury, the journey that Mercury has been on in this last couple of months. Now, Neptune is in Pisces, you know, at home in Pisces, and it's been there a long time, will be there a long time, and it's making this sweet trine. Now, the node of the moon is kind of like a point in space. It's not like an actual thing there, right? So the nodes we feel most when the other planets interact with the nodes. And so Neptune coming into this trine with the North Node is a harmonious energy of support, and doing it the easy way, right? But trines have an energy of like, squares just happen to you, you can't get away from them. But trines, you have to kind of reach out and take advantage. So this is kind of the energy of this full moon. It's like, hey, we have an opportunity here. Full moon in Scorpio, opposite Mercury, sextile the North Node, in trine to Neptune. We're exploring and allowing ourselves to dream something new and different, to allow this reset to happen in our field. Say, just because we're traumatized or whatever experience we've had over lifetime, it doesn't mean that that's appropriate anymore right now. You know, we're coming to the end of the road on these karmic patterns. And so, of course, they're blooming, and we're having to look deep in that subconscious with the Scorpio full moon and face those shadowy places, those vulnerable places, those emotional places, the oversensitive places. Now, people who have a lot of sensitivity can feel so overwhelmed with emotion and energy that they can feel like it hurts. It's like a physical pain, you know. That can be because you're taking on the energies of other people. It can be because you have a karmic kind of feeling of responsibility, and maybe not feeling, but deep subconscious feeling of responsibility towards the collective or towards other people. And it is, but again, we're talking about the power of that emotion to move energy and using it in a positive way to get us to this deeper meaning in life that Sagittarius, Jupiter in Sagittarius, is trying to get us to. And that Scorpio energy is like, okay, that means we gotta look below the surface, and that ain't pretty, right? But it's going to set us free. And so a lot of issues from the last 2-3 years of the Scorpio transits are coming up again right now. You know, so again, that feeling of like, I totally dealt with this, I can't believe it's back, you know, but another opportunity to go deeper and pull it out by the roots, so to speak. So here we go on the journey, and I look forward, I hope you can join me for the full moon activation. That's going to be Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. That's exactly 24 hours before the actual full moon, so we can just kind of settle in and sit tight and get into the energy that we want to hold to use the most of this incredibly visionary time right now. Neptune is our dreams and our ability to connect with the collective consciousness and the oneness. And with the North Node, it's saying, yeah, we're going through all this because we are moving forward. We are finally going to move forward. So here we go. It just means we've got to know we deserve it. We got to learn to take care of ourselves. We got to come back into connection with nurturing and with our sensitivity. The sensitivity is really good because, you know, if you don't have these periods of time where you feel the sensitivity, then you can go through your life and just not deal with a whole bunch of stuff and just stay in denial, right? You know, and so it's just a time right now where it's like, yeah, let's get that sludge out of here, right? Let's move it. Let's move that energy into this hope for the future. So I hope you'll be joining me for that full moon activation on Friday, and have a wonderful full moon in Scorpio, and I look forward to seeing and connecting with you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.